You're listening to the GC Collaborative Podcast, a resource for the worship arts team at Grace Church.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the GC Collaborative Podcast. We are so glad you're here with us today. And if you haven't already noticed by the title of this podcast, really it is us just ending the year, school year, because we take the summer off with the podcast, by just saying thank you to all the volunteers from the worship arts crew. We honestly were just thinking about it, and it'd just be awesome to do a quick podcast to talk about some of the amazing things that volunteers do around here. And that's all we're going to do.
Yeah, incredibly grateful for all of you. This is Ben, by the way, and over there, the one who did the intro was Luke. Luke, this is our last episode where you will be without child. Because the next episode you will be with child.
Ideally, because on the day we're recording this is the due date.
This is your baby's due date.
Yes. So ideally by the next time we do this, if not, Bailey's going to be very large by then, because it'll be in August. And I think it'll be the longest baby to ever be in a womb.
Should be like the Death Star.
Yeah, exactly. And she would kill me. So, and I couldn't blame her, because that'd be miserable.
Very exciting for you both. It's going to be awesome.
We're excited.
As Luke mentioned, we're just incredibly grateful for those of you who volunteer for our worship ministry at Grace across all of our campuses, the North, the South, the Olathe, and then even our online campus. We have so many people who make all of that stuff happen, whether you're in production, or you stand on the stage with worship, or you're one of our artists who utilize your giftings in other ways. We're just grateful for you.
Yeah, because outside of the weekend service, we also have worship nights, all campus worship night, which was amazing this year. It was end of August, beginning of September. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I believe there was 30 band and production and artists. There's 30 or 40 people involved with the night. We had 2 bands that represented all the campuses, which was amazing. We had visual artists painting at the front. We had George doing pottery. And so it was just a beautiful night. We got to sing a new original song that night, the All Things New. And so I actually, real fast, do want to ask you, because I think it's always cool, because you were here back in the old days of Grace, even before multi-site. And I would assume that's got to be pretty cool to see that, because you were here when, it was one location, and to see how the volunteers have grown, and how we do have 3 locations with just such amazing volunteers, such talent, from the production to the artists to the music. How does that, that's got to be pretty cool to just see God do that over the years.
Dude, it's amazing. And I think back to when I kind of took I was given the mantle of worship at Grace Church back in 2001. And we're talking 22 years ago that I actually started leading the worship at Grace. And that was what we're doing now was just a far off dream, at the time. So it is it's very exciting to see the fruit that God has brought to our church, and just through a lot of prayer, and then just people, it's just been awesome. And it's funny to look back. I can, it's one of those things I envision looking back across a field. I turn around and I see a field of wheat that's like people. And I just know there were just seasons and some of those folks that helped build this ministry and what we do now, who are a part of the vision and the dream, they're not here anymore because God called them somewhere else, or they moved away or whatever. But it's just awesome to see that where it's come from. And it's just beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
So rewarding.
Well, and I love, one thing that I really love is I know from conversations with you, there were times of frustration and feeling oh man, this, what is, is this even going to happen, or this vision, and there was frustration along the way. So I think one thing I love is hearing those stories, because I believe personally that in every season there will be things that you wish like were happening, or, oh man, it'd be cool if we could do this, or we feel like the Lord's calling us there. And I think there's always frustration in that, because you can see what's possible and you want to get there, but it just, things are in the way or whatever it might be. And so I love hearing those stories from you, because as a younger, I'm not so young anymore, but younger leader, you can have hopes and desires and like, oh man, this would be awesome, or I think we should go this direction, or feel like the Lord's calling us this direction. And there's always frustration in that. And, but to see that like God worked through that, and it's not always as fast as we want it. It's not always as quick as we want it. And it could be little things. I'm not talking about anything crazy, but
absolutely.
And so I think it's always cool to hear God's faithfulness already in Grace. And, what is it? The 27 years now? 26. I think this year's 27.
Yeah. I would say that all of that is incredibly true. And the one thing I've learned is, the frustrations come, but there's usually something better that you just don't see. And a lot of times it's just God's telling you, hey, you're not ready for that. You need to wait a minute.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You need to go through, this ministry doesn't need that right now. It's too much. And you don't see it in the moment until later. And you turn around, you look back and you're like, oh, we weren't ready for that, but we're ready now. I was having a conversation this morning with a team member today who was frustrated about, like not being able to have what we feel like we need to be better in this moment. And it's just one of those things. It's like, I know it feels like that right now, but I think if you just do the best you can with what we've got, God's probably got something better. And there's a reason, we just don't know what it is. Yeah. And it's where we are, and you have to just do the best you can with where you're at. So
absolutely. Sorry, that was like a little side trail, but I kind of liked it.
Then you might change the title of the episode.
Yeah, exactly. No, but so there was worship night, which was just amazing. It was so powerful and just amazing to be a part of, and just so grateful once again for all the love and passion that went into that. And then we had Christmas this year, which is always a beautiful time to just celebrate. And then Easter this year as well. And that was a whole different, we had, I can't remember how many now, but I think 20 or 30 people involved with the intro video, helping with that, from voiceovers to fabric to dancing to band members to all of it. And then also just live in the room on the weekends, which, was
across
a bunch
all
of people.
Campuses,
yeah, exactly. And online as well. And so I think, the thing I've been thinking a lot about recently with volunteers is you guys give so much time, and it's a lot in what we have to do a 2-hour rehearsal on a Thursday night for your campus, and then come in and execute usually four-ish songs on a weekend, usually in different keys with different people. That's a lot of work. And I know we don't take that lightly or for granted, but just want you guys to know that's a lot. And actually, as Tom Ben earlier, I did the numbers.
You did math.
I did math. So if you are good at math, probably check it. But
don't check it.
Yeah, don't check it. Just go with it.
Just
live in the mystery of it.
Who are we kidding? If you're listening to this, you're probably not into math.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't have made it this far with us. But if you do a 2-hour rehearsal on a Thursday, and then say just on average 7 to noon on a Sunday. So say that's the week that you are rehearsing and playing on a weekend. That is 7 to 12 is 5 hours. Yes. No. Yeah, 5 hours. Sorry. And then Thursday's 2 hours. So that's 7 hours right there. Then add, rehearsing at home / setting up time. So say on average you do about 8 hours if you serve on a weekend. Say you do that once a month. That's 12 8 hours. So that's, if you put that in a work week, that's 2 weeks and 2 days of work. And then I would say most of you probably do more of that. So let's just tack on another 3 days just out of probably, and that's still probably a little conservative for a lot of you guys. And so a lot of you are given 15 work days to Grace Church at least, or on average, I would say, to help lead our people in worship and showing them and bringing them to the presence of God through music and production and arts. And that's a huge and amazing thing that you guys just sacrificially do for the Lord, and it's inspiring. It's pretty awesome to see. And so I don't want you guys to forget that either, because I think that is a big deal. And it is a big deal that you guys are so gifted and talented that you do learn the songs and you do play them so well and with love and passion and eloquently. And that's pretty cool. I don't know. That was just kind of the thought we had behind this podcast, is just to acknowledge that and to say, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Absolutely. We very, very much appreciate it. And it's not even that we're thanking you just for giving to Grace Church, but we're grateful that you desire to lead people and follow God's calling on your life and what He has empowered you and gifted you to do, and utilizing those gifts for serving His people and Him. So thank you. Appreciate you very much.
Absolutely.
So, so what we've got looking forward to, we've got, I think our next episode is going to be when we return from the summer, right? Which will be August, September?
August. Yeah. We always take June, July. It'll be September 1st.
Okay. So between now and then, we'll have our next all campus worship night, right?
Yes.
So that will occur after the next episode. Isn't that crazy to think?
Right.
The end of August. And you'll be a father.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
The baby will be here. So,
and the baby will be a couple months old by then.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, it's crazy to even think about.
It's amazing.
So hope everybody has an amazing summer and that you guys get to just enjoy your families, enjoy the wonderful warm weather.
Hopefully it's wonderful.
Kansas. And we just are honestly just grateful for you guys. Love you guys. I think you all know this, but if you ever need anything, always feel free to reach out. And we're just excited. We're excited what the Lord has for next year. We're in the, I feel horrible.
What are we in? 2023? 2023?
What's our year-long one message?
Huh? Yeah, one message. I'm sorry.
No, I was like one story, one message. Trying
one
to
story
get
was last year. One message. I was like, "What you talking about,
and
man?"
Our one message, and we're gonna be, 9 months in at that point, and that's been awesome to do as a church and just walk through, and it's been really cool and powerful to see what the Lord's done. And then I know we always talk about this on the weekends, but I think it's worth mentioning on the podcast, been the salvations and baptisms.
Today, in fact,
I
did get a text just now, a little bit ago, that we are at 220 people since January 1st have received Christ.
Wow.
Due to people engaging in sharing the gospel. So that's amazing. It's awesome.
That's 220 since January 1st this year? Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Praise God. That's amazing.
Yeah,
wow.
So everybody's rising to the call and engaging in what God called us to do, which was to share the good news of His death, burial, and resurrection, and salvation through Jesus. So it's amazing. So keep going.
So, anyways, we'll love you guys. And I will say, even though I hate to, because we've been celebrating this whole time, especially with summer coming up, we know there's a lot of plans going on and a lot of things going on, which is awesome. And we love that people go on vacation and travel. But in that, if you could block out when you won't be here for those vacations, and then also just accept or decline the Planning Center request as soon as you can. Just once again, I always say this because I feel like we just want people to know it's not really for our benefit. There's nothing worse than receiving a text on Wednesday or Thursday the week of, as a bass player or an electric player, saying, "Hey, somebody couldn't do this weekend. Can you play?" So we really just try to keep our volunteers out of that position as much as possible. So if you could do that, that'd be amazing. But we love you guys, and hope you have a great summer, and we will see you September 1st.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to the GC Collaborative Podcast. If you have any questions or would like more information, check us out at visitgracechurch.com.